So yeah, he pins Makase, and then Okabe interferes. Dude pulls a knife. Okabe employs all his combat training to disarm him.
Oh, that was good, Owens.
Hello and welcome back to my first anime, the finale of Steins Gate. I am Chris Bailey.
I'm Salvador, also known as Monkey.
And I am Anthony Vaught.
I did it slower because we jumped into this real fast and my brain is catching up. Woo! Let's talk about Steins Gate.
Nyan.
Actually, let's do our quick little anime minutes.
Anime minute. Go.
I couldn't sleep
minute.
last night, so I got back into reading Hunter x Hunter finally.
Ooh.
I made it through Greed Island. I finally started Chimera Ant.
Oh, did you start it?
Killua and Gon are going to fight the other disciples. Like, I'm in the middle of the knuckle fight.
Oh, so you already went to the very beginning of the Chimera, where it's like super bloody, and you're like, where did this fucking turn to?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, because I was watching the anime, and then someone dies, and I'm like, this is not the anime I was watching.
Yeah, and like right out the gate, they're like, "Hey, man, if you guys want to come handle these like Chimera Ants, you're gonna have to fucking kill them. Like, you can't." And then he just crushes that armadillo guy in his arms.
Yeah, and then that's where I dropped the show because I could not handle another training montage. I was like, I'm so tired of this training thing.
Oh, dude, it's actually like good. I mean, I don't know about the show, but the training is good. Like, Knuckles' a great character. I love him. But it's finally starting to get better. I think it starts to get better towards the end of Greed Island, where
What do you think of the battle system? Because everybody loves the battle system of Hunter x Hunter. They think it's
that's what I was gonna say. I think it's finally starting to get better because before now it was like the battles were very simple. It was Gon and Killua were just like so strong that it didn't matter. And now they're finally starting to fight stronger guys, and people are starting to have more interesting abilities. Like Kite's ability fucking rules. I love it. And that it's like a chatty little asshole.
Yeah.
And every time he complains about it, Killua was like, "But you made it that way."
That is actually pretty good.
Biscuit rules.
Biscuit is fantastic.
Hot take, biscuit rules.
No, it's not hot take.
No, I know that's the coldest take in the world. But yes, Hunter x Hunter is good.
It started, it's consistently one of my, like, Netflix, like, hey, you've watched 3 animes in a row. Here's all the anime you should watch, and it's always in, like, the top 5.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is a really popular one.
Although I don't think you want to watch on Netflix because they don't have all the episodes out. I think it cuts off at the end of the game arc. Or Greed Island is the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they go into the Chimera arc. Which kind of sucks.
Interesting. Yeah, that's supposed to be like the best shonen arc of all time. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Only other note I have for anime, I guess, is that spending the last 24 hours thinking about Steins Gate, and we'll probably end up circling back to this at some point as we talk about the ending. Somehow it led to me thinking a lot about Persona 3. Persona 3 is fucking great. Like, it has one of my favorite endings across all mediums ever. Like, I spent a good chunk of time thinking about Persona 3 today. It's so good. If you like Persona games and you haven't played 3, go play 3.
For my anime minute, so I'm caught up in my 2 shows. Haikyuu. Oh my gosh, Haikyuu was so good this season. It's so fucking good. The last few episodes were bangers. Still watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
Is that good? I almost started that last night.
Was it Jujutsu
Kaisen?
No, don't watch it. You won't like it. It's like boring fucking shit. Okay. I'm just watching it because it's a shonen and I'm a big shonen guy, even though I shouldn't be. But you love what you hate. But since I'm caught up, and I'm like actually caught up, I'm actually going back to an old anime that I was trying to watch that I kind of fell off. And it's My Life as a Villainess Oh, my next life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom. I talked to you about this, Owens, haven't I?
Does not ring a bell.
Yeah, okay. So basically, there was this girl, and she gets. They have not explained it, but she either gets sucked into a visual novel game or something like that. And she realized that she's playing as the villain in the visual novel game, and the villain always dies. So she realized that she's gonna die. So she's trying to change the future to where she is the good guy in the game. And it's just really funny because he has like little moments to herself where she like goes into her mind, and there's little chibi characters of her talking of how they could fix this and stuff like that. So she's like trying to fix all the relationships that so she can get a good ending, even though she's the villain of the game. And what's causing it is every character is starting to love her, so the character that you're supposed to play, that all the characters are supposed to love, is like getting messed up now. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm almost done with the season. I'm kind of mad because a second season got announced. I was hoping it was one season. You know what I mean? I'd be done and I would get the whole story. But suppose there's a second season, so I'm kind of hoping the first season does end decently. So he was hoping for that. Anthony, your anime minute?
I didn't have much this week. I had to
work.
I started work back up this month, and then so I went straight from my trip into hanging out with a buddy that visited from Alaska.
That's cool.
And yeah, actually, I literally got home today, and then I watched the 4 episodes, and I finished about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, hey, that's clear in your mind, dude, because, God, there was so much stuff that happened. I was like, this makes no sense. But hopefully,
I can't wait to touch those conversations. Dude, I've been, like I said, I watched them yesterday. I've been thinking about stuff. I have it. You're just going to have to bear with me on some parts, okay?
Okay.
We ready to jump into Steins Gate?
Let's jump into it.
Episode 21, Paradox Meltdown. As you know, we left. Okabe is having his realization that he has to undo the first email, which will end up killing Makise. And he starts to have doubts about that.
Okay, random question. Before we get... What was in that first email?
I was the one that's like, hey, someone got stabbed or whatever.
Okay, and how did that affect the timeline?
We weren't really explained that because that's when he realized that D-mail works.
Yeah, because he sent it to Daru, who happened to be like testing something at the time. So that D-mail did go through. And that's why in the first episode, he's like out on the crosswalk and he sends it and then like timey-wimey shit.
Yeah, but I still don't understand how that affected it.
Well, it went back in time and then, well.
So what happens in the first episode, so the D-mail got sent, then we went back in time, and then Chris is the one that's leading the lecture instead of dun 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 Dad, which I was surprised about because Vecna told us in the very beginning, but no one realized it.
Did it tell us?
Well, it told him that he was kind of a piece of shit, but
no, they changed his name in the very beginning, didn't they?
Yeah, it's not Makise.
They don't say her name.
His name is Nakabachi.
Yeah, Nakabachi, and her name is Makise Kurisu.
Oh, really? They don't say her last name?
Her surname is Makise.
Yeah, I think she chose...
Oh, wow, that's really... Okay, never mind. They don't tell you then. That is really annoying. Okay.
Yeah, we don't get to figure out what... All we know is that the D-mail worked, and then, like, unlike the other things where, like, things changed and he figured it out, they don't figure it out. They just go straight into, like, hey, it works. Let's see what we can do. And that she's just alive. So we actually don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's actually true.
To this day, we don't know what happened.
All right, now we can discuss the episode once because that came to my mind and I thought about it. I'm like, how did that
that's a good
affect
point.
it?
I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
This is when I had the realization that like we're definitely getting like a Makise is going to die at some point. And I remembered back to like one of the early part conversations where they're talking about sending D-mails and she's like, nah, I wouldn't want to change anything. You know, whatever happens in my life, that's my life.
Yeah.
It is the last day of Komima, the anime convention, I assume. Okabe is moping on the roof again. Classic Okabe. Mayuri comes and gives him water and a hat.
You're gonna get heat stroke.
He gets the like final like the realization again of how he explains that each email they undo has been pushing her death one day, and Mayuri talks to him about how she's worried about him basically, and he deflects with his mad scientist stuff, which we are going to talk about the arc of Hoenn Kyoma by the end of this.
No, I don't think it's that important.
Maybe at the end of this, we're going to talk about the arc of Hoenn Kyoma because, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I fucking love Okabe.
Yeah.
He's such a fantastic character.
He's good.
Daru calls Makase to find something, tells her not to look at the third shelf. She looks at the third shelf, sees all his anime porn.
I mean, he told her not to look at it. I mean, I don't know what you want from here.
Well, she was like, what? Wait, on the third shelf?
Yeah, we knew exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then, as he has been doing, Okabe tries to go to Makase for help, but won't tell her what the D-mail was, what he needs help with, or the whole situation, basically. We get to 55 minutes before Mayuri is supposed to die, and Okabe doesn't know what to do. And then this goddamn scene, maybe the closest I got to actual like tears in this entire show for some reason.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it.
I didn't know I could do that, but there's other moments that got me to tears.
So they're walking and talking down the alley. Mayuri is like, hey, thanks for coming today. Because Okabe just like hung out, but didn't really do anything. And she's talking to him about like, hey, why didn't you do anything? And
I like her line, yeah.
He's like, oh, I wanted to see Ruka's cosplay, but he didn't end up coming. So I just like hung around and had to make sure there were no organization agents or whatever.
I love how Mayuri's like, yeah, if Ruka cosplays, he would have became super famous. I mean, he would have became super famous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They start making plans for next Komima. They're all going to cosplay together. And then the car comes. The watch stops working, of course.
Wait, why? Hold on.
What's up?
No, just no.
Yeah, and like I think the reason that this scene worked so well for me is this show, I think, has been doing like such a good job of giving you the perspective they want you to have. And again, we're going to come back to this with Hoenn Kyoma, that it was really easy to like get into Okabe's mindset. Like it wasn't even something I had to try to do. I was just there with Okabe, and like throughout all of this, Okabe has been watching her die over and over and over again. And he'll talk later about how he became numb to it.
Oh, so sad.
Something about this one scene for me, and I assume what they wanted for the audience and for Okabe, was like, oh, this sucks all over again. Because this Okabe fucking snaps when that car is coming, and he's like, no, we're not doing this. Like, we can't. I'm not going through this shit again. I'm going to figure out a way to beat this. I'm going to get hit by the car instead. That'll solve it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the reason it snaps, too, is because he thinks he's between a rock and a hard place, which, I mean, he kind of is at the moment. So, like, he's like, no, if I can stop this, then we're good.
Yeah.
And then, he can't.
Yeah, he tries to stop. He tries to take the car.
And Mayuri
stops him.
Mayuri being the best girl ever. One of I'm going to officially say it, top 10 favorite characters in anime so far. I don't know where she stands, but Mayuri is fantastic. Every time she shows up, she's a delight. And she's a true friend. And best girl of this anime. That's what I'm saying.
So Mayuri ends up getting hit by the car because she's takes it for Okabe despite him clearly trying to take it.
Of course you would.
Read the goddamn room, Mayuri.
Don't bring your heavy criticisms to her, okay? First of all, we all know she can't read the room.
No, she can. That's like all she can do.
No, she can read people's emotions, not the room. I'm just saying, don't you remember she opens up her microwave whenever they're heating up little chicken nuggets? This is totally Mayuri.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more than that, and that
she's best girl. Yeah, I completely agree.
She was finally able to be useful to Okabe. Her own words. And she does her little star handshake at his face.
I kind of hate the fact that she thinks that, because she is like Okabe's like rock, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
for so many
100%.
years. Yeah, for so many years, he like, I mean, actually, I did lie. This is not Murray's best episode. This is actually the next episode. They have the whole conversation about all. But yeah, like, I hate the fact that Mary thinks like this, though. The fact that she, like, this is her one time when she's useful to Okabe. No, she's been useful for Okabe so long. I mean, she is Okabe's best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew this was coming. They were laying on pretty fucking thick in the beginning episode, or the beginning of this episode, and like that whole scene, just through watching it again, more and more shit. So I put my emotional barrier up. I was like, nope, not today, motherfuckers. You're not getting it.
Give it to me. Make me cry. Hurt me.
It's not sad. Fuck them.
Yeah, you're totally right, Monkey. But I mean, if you think about it from how her character has been built up, Okabe saved her. Okabe has always been there to like make her happy, and now he's on this like big science kick, and she doesn't know anything about what's going on. So the way she sees it, she's just there and like fucks around and can't really help Okabe in any way. And you know, it doesn't help. This is maybe again something we'll discuss later, that Okabe is a very walled and disingenuous person, whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Which is, you know, a big part of, I think, what happens in the next couple episodes between Okabe and Mayuri.
Yeah.
We get a time leap. Okabe looks utterly defeated. He's not having a good time. He goes back to moping on the roof, and Makase comes up and confronts him. Like, hey, man, what's going on? What are you doing? What's all the bullshit? He flips out. He renounces the identity of Halloween Kiyoma. It was all a front. It was never real. And Makase's like, yeah, dude, I do, like, immediately.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But then it's like, it gives him the, hey, man, like, I'm here for you. I'm always going to support you. Tell me what you need help with, and let's get it. He is not buying it so far. He's still spiraling. He yells about everything that Ferris and Ruka had to sacrifice, and he's going to smash his phone. But Makase stops him, and then he finally tells her everything. That undoing the last email is going to make her die, and all that. He gets a phone call from Mayuri, who... They have a little bit of a conversation. She apologizes for not spending more time with him recently. They make another reference to the Four Beasts. I think that's our third anime with it. Suzaku, Genbu, Byako, and I can never remember all four at once. What the hell, man?
Oh, the generals?
Yeah. Seiryu, Suzaku, Byako, and Genbu. Okay. So Makase, after the phone call, tells... Okabe, like, hey, go hang out with Mayuri. Like, I'll try and figure this out, because you being here isn't going to help either of us. You're going to be the mopey little dipshit. Spoilers, I'm going to be a mopey little dipshit, so one of us might as well go do something.
Yeah.
And Mayuri is at her grandmother's grave. And again, this goddamn scene, dude.
Oh, this scene actually...
This one's pretty good.
So good. Actually, I lied. This is the episode. This is the best Mayuri episode.
All right, you can't change later. You have to lock it in now.
I'm locking it in. Best episode of Mayuri yet.
Yeah, Mayuri is talking to her grandmother, seemingly remembering all the times that she died.
Yeah, that she's been having the death dreams, which is kind of messed up.
Yeah. But it's fine. Okabe always comes to save her, but she tries to talk to him and he can't hear her. And then she wakes up.
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, like, just thinking about the context behind if what she's saying is true, like that. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's having fragments of memories from the other world lines.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that has been happening and will continue to happen.
Yep.
She talks about how they've got all these new lab members when, you know, they used to be just them. And man, it sure is great having Makase around. She's so smart and knows so many things. And Okabe seems really happy talking to her.
Mary knows.
And then, God, I love this too. She talks about the first time she went to the lab. Okabe wasn't there. And so she just went in and cleaned up. And he comes back. and she says, welcome back. And instead of him saying, I'm back, which, Anthony, I'm not sure if you're aware, is like a custom thing. Everyone will say like, welcome home. And someone will say, I'm home or I'm back or whatever whenever they get into a place, typically.
That's kind of weird.
But instead of saying, well, that's why she's like, instead of saying, I'm back, he said, good work.
That makes a lot more sense now. I did not know about that.
And yeah, she kept coming back. They didn't have much to talk about, but it was nice. They would just hang out. She would read her comics. He would do Okabe shit. And it was just a nice time. But she feels like they're starting to drift apart. They don't talk as much anymore. But she can feel he's suffering. And she knows it's because of her. Which sucks so bad.
Just for the listeners at home, this is where my emotional barrier collapsed. I made it about 15 minutes in the episode.
Dude, like that, yeah, that part is just because she knows it's because of her, but she doesn't know why. She doesn't have the context. She doesn't know it's because he's trying to save her life and she keeps dying.
Yep.
She just knows that somehow she's the root of all the like sadness he's been feeling.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
And then she's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just lonely. I can't stay this way forever. Which I don't exactly know what that was referring to. Like what way? Maybe like with her being like a lab member and Okabe's hostage and all that. I don't know.
I think she was getting kind of sad, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, but I can't stay this way forever. And then he says, you can.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know what this way is referring to necessarily. I think I missed that.
Oh, I could be stretching here, but like I was under the assumption it was just because he hadn't introduced himself, right? She's just like, she's just talking to her grandma about how sad she is. And that like that, I think that's what she's like. She can't stay that way forever.
Yeah. Why would Okabe come in and say, you can stay sad forever?
Because he's in, like, he knows that they're in a loop. Like, he can literally keep them in this loop forever.
Oh, okay. I took it as way more positive.
Yeah, that's really messed up if you think of it like that, Anthony. I mean, I have no anything to add in the conversation, but that's really messed up if that's the way Okabe is.
I mean, it's true, though. He can literally keep them in the loop forever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
If that's how it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I don't think he meant it like, you can. He was just like, no, this is actually a possibility. Like, and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was more like threatening. I think it was just like under his breath. Like,
no, I know what you mean. But I took it as like her saying like, well, you know, shit happens, life changes, whatever. And then he comes in and is like, nah, don't worry. We're still biffles.
You know what this actually reminds me of? Was I think you both have seen this, but Groundhog Day.
I have not seen Groundhog Day.
Oh,
I know. It's on my shame list.
My God. But
it's only the genesis of one of my favorite tropes of all time.
Yeah, but this is Bill Murray actually goes crazy afterwards after he repeats several days or stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, this is like the same thing as Okabe, except people are not dying, but like he's just basically losing his mind just because the days just keeps on happening over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically stuck in a groundhog loop.
Yeah.
Well, he's not stuck in one though. It's of his own design. It's his choice.
Yeah. Stuck is the hard.
No, he's stuck. Okay, we cannot let Mayuri die. Can we all agree with that?
Well, yeah,
but totally. But he's still not stuck. Time could go forward if he chose.
Because I think we've only been in this day. I think he's time leaped once.
This specific one that we know, yeah. But I mean, this is probably something I was going to talk about later. But for just, I guess I can say it now since we're talking about it. We don't have a sense of how many times like he actually leaped. And at least even at the start, he was going back like a handful of days each time he leaped and would have to play through the entire thing until Mayuri dies again. Mm-hmm. So for all we know, he's been doing this for literal years in his time.
Based on his emotional state, I don't think it was years. I think he definitely did it for a solid month and some change.
I would bet it's more than that because they showed us her die like probably 10-ish times in like a montage.
But you have to remember those were the those were single days.
Yeah, that's a week and a half.
No, the first time he was going back a couple of days. I think he was going back 2 days at least at the start.
That's just my guess.
It doesn't matter. That's all
it's
semantics.
Probably not years, but I would think it's a significant amount of time. Okabe tells Mayuri that, like, hey, I'll tell you everything when I can. But for now, let's go play with the Oopa gachas. Let's go get some Oopas.
Well, he does, like, how did you find me? I was like, well, you're my hostage. I always know where my hostage is at. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Makase is at the conference building where it all began.
Yep. And we're wondering why she knows this is supposed to get stabbed. We haven't talked about it. Really good
that
note.
has not happened quite yet.
No, but you like, wait, if you think about it, you're like, why is she over there? Like, she wouldn't know where she got stabbed because they never talk about her getting stabbed.
I wanted to ask that question to you guys because I have it written down as, do you guys think that he told her, since he had to explain anyway?
No.
You don't think he told her that she has to die here?
Oh, I don't think he told her. He probably said it was at the conference center and that's why she's there. But
that was the
in the second
assumption
episode, she specifically goes to like the room, or she's like really close to where she died.
Yeah. Guess who else is having death dreams?
Yeah, exactly. It's a thing of everyone just has fragments of the other world lines for whatever reason.
Yep.
Are we good with 21 though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. My notes are, I'm gonna make a Mayuri best girl counter for you.
I mean, that's fine, dude.
And every time you say it, it's just gonna ding.
I mean, she is the best girl.
There's another one.
Episode 22, Being Meltdown. We pull back, or we start back pretty much right where we left off. Makase is pulling an Okabe on the roof of the convention center. Just lying out there staring at the sky.
And then he pulls a Mayuri.
Yeah, he pulls a Mayuri.
Hey, your heat stroke out here. She's like, it's cloudy, bro.
Yeah. It starts to rain and they run inside. Makase's shirt is soaked through, which Okabe notices, and then they start to bicker.
Yep.
I forgot how did they go so fast into bickering to
because
her doing
Okabe
the
turns
ha-ha?
around and they're like trying to dry off, and he notices that her shirt is soaked through. At the same time, she notices, so she calls him a pervert. And then he's like, "Well, don't wear such thick clothes."
But how does she get to laughing?
Oh, because he has she notices like a scratch on his coat. And he's like,
that's
she's like,
right.
"So how'd you get a scratch?" He's like, "I was looking for you." And then their banter turns much more playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I remember now.
But as she's doing that, she is very much keeping her distance. Right, he goes to sit on the stairs, and she like jets away from him.
Yep.
So he's kind of full role reversal here. He's pretty much worried about Makase, but
Oh wait, we get that conversation about like why Okabe would like a stick figure, and she's like, "I'm a flower pot."
what? I remember the stick figure stuff. I don't remember the flower pot.
Yeah, Chris says she's a flower pot.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Big butt and a skinny body.
I've never heard that before.
It's like, I mean, it's not hourglass, but like, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, you mean she's talking about like having a big butt and a skinny body.
Sure.
I mean, if you think about what a flower pot is, like how it represents.
Yeah, I mean, I figured, but wow, I didn't even pick.
Yeah, she
that.
says that she's a flower pot, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah, but they do have that quick heart to heart, and Okabe is still kind of like deflecting and doing like his Halloween stuff, but you can very clearly tell from his face and the way he's saying it that his heart is not in it. She gives the coat back and does a mad scientist laugh.
Which I love this laugh. It's good.
Yeah, she commits to it this time. She doesn't trail off and sound like, hell. And of course, he got the pink thread.
Yep.
And this is where we get Makase saying that she has a hazy memory of being stabbed somewhere near here and of Okabe trying to save Mayuri.
Yeah. Well, she says, it feels like a dream, but like dreams don't like hurt that much. So she knows it's something else.
Yeah, and she talks about like how she kind of remembers all the times Okabe tried to save Mayuri and like all he went through for it, and starts to like have like she says, "I wonder if it's possible to care about someone that much." Obviously referring to herself because she sees it with Okabe.
Yeah.
And that's why she wanted to help Okabe. She says, "You have to save Mayuri." Makase tried, but couldn't find another way. So just send the D-mail. Just undo it. Mayuri's got to be saved. Fuck it. And Okabe snaps back that he doesn't want to abandon Makase. If he does, there'd be no point in everything that he's done. And he tries to run and leap. Run from the convention center all the way back to the lab to leap. And I guess we don't get this image, but it's probably pretty fucking funny if you think about it. Makase, I guess, chasing him the entire time.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, because
Essentially,
he doesn't get to leap. She shows up and stops him.
Oh,
Which means
yeah.
she was running after him. But yeah, she stops his leap and tells him that he needs to stop running. He needs to stop watching Mayuri die. Like, it's happened enough. She can tell the toll it's taking on him and his psyche and his mental state.
And she's right, man. Dude,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Of course he's numb to all that stuff. Like, it would be almost insane not, like, you would have to numb yourself to that because the emotional hit every time of watching your best friend die over and over again. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, and Okabe even says that, where he's like, yeah, I've seen it enough times. I can do it again. There are times I even wait until she dies because I have to collect information.
Yeah.
And Makase slaps him in the middle of that and tells him that if seeing Mayuri suffer like that doesn't affect him, then he's already broken. And after they have that discussion, Makase again tells him to just save Mayuri because they'll both regret it if they don't, which totally true. She says she'll just go back. It's for the best of both of them. And Okabe hugs her and reminisces about the past 20 days they spent together, which is kind of wild to think about. It's only been 20 days for Makase, but who knows how long it's been for Okabe.
Yep.
Woof.
Yeah. He says she's not just another lab member. She was ellipses, and then just says, I can't save you. To which she replies, thank you for suffering so much for me. Which is a very fucking sad thing to say.
Yeah.
And then Makase, trying to comfort probably herself as much as she is Okabe, goes on like an almost optimistic sounding thing. Like, I wonder what happens when he changes lines. Even if she's dead in one world line, it's okay because she'll live on in the others. Somewhere, somehow,
Yeah.
Makase is still alive, and who knows, maybe that stuff will somehow...
Some of that old optimistic garbage.
Yeah.
No, she said that, and I'm just like, yeah, you just confused me. I don't understand I don't know what you're saying, Chris.
Well, I mean, she was saying that, like,
yeah.
and actually, I think it's extremely important what she says here to the point of the series. And if you take Makase's like whole philosophy up to this point and her not wanting to change her past or whatever, because to her, a person is just a collection of their experiences. And even if she dies in this world line, there's plenty of lines that Makase didn't die in for whatever reason. So even if this Makase is gone, Makase is still out there because I guess if you think like with the bleeding of the world lines that seems to be happening.
No, this is really dumb, Chris. That's what that means. It's garbage because what's the point of saying Mayuri? Because technically she could have survived in other world lines.
No, I'm not saying it's like, yes, fine. But it's her trying to rationalize and take comfort as a person of science, how she understands like this stuff to work, that even if she dies in one world line, in a way, she is living on in others. And who knows, like for all she knows, maybe her, like there's some weird consciousness stuff, but it's her trying to not just say like, okay, I'm dead. It's her trying to find something.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just she was saying that, and I was just like, what? I don't understand the logic behind any of this.
There was none.
It's the same reason people cling to the idea of an afterlife or reincarnation or whatever. Like the same reason any of that brings anyone comfort.
Okay, you could just say that. That makes more sense than because she was saying this, and I'm just like, wait. So am I supposed to pay attention to this? Like,
No, you weren't.
Okay,
I mean, in a way, you were just supposed to pay attention in that. Like it was just the way that she's logically coming to terms with her death.
okay,
Yeah.
No, she was saying this, and I got so confused.
Initially, I was too, and then halfway through writing on the notes, I was like, "Oh, she's just throwing shit at the wall, hoping that it sticks."
Okay, I was just so confused, and I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Then they confess their love to it. Well, Okabe confesses his love.
Look at Okabe. Usually the guy who's mostly stunted. We've seen several times.
That fucking music break. During this scene, the music just drops out.
Oh, I don't think I even noticed that.
Oh, that's fucking powerful, man.
Yeah, usually a stoppage your music is. I'm surprised I didn't pick up on that. Damn.
You were fucking in it.
I was so in it. Then she makes him close his eyes, and he's like, why? She's just fucking do it. Pulls him in and kisses him. And she's like, she pulls a fucking Asuka. It's not like I wanted to do that, but the hippocampus, you're more likely to store the memory in your hippocampus. So,
Takes longer to forget.
My God.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Okabe, smooth ass motherfucker.
No. He said it's so hard for you to forget your first kiss. And Okabe's like, that's not my first kiss.
Oh, yeah. She gets pissed. But I think he kind of saved his, like, don't worry, my first kiss wasn't that romantic.
No. It's funny because and she's like, your virgin scientist. He's like, what are you talking? You're the virgin scientist.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of I did kind of like him going, oh, well, that wasn't my first kiss, and her being a little like annoyed by it, but then him saying,
it's great when he's like, my first kiss was nothing special. Like,
yeah, it didn't mean anything, implying that like, but this one matters.
Yeah, this one matters.
But yeah, them bickering there is a little weird. But anyway, again, smooth fucking Okabe, unironically, goes like, but I don't know that one left that much of an impression, and goes in for another kiss. And then the way this is shot, it seems like they just are there macking for a while.
Yeah, they're making out,
kissing over and over again.
It's so adorable. What a fucking scene.
And then Makase punctuates. Oh yeah, Makase has a whole thing of like, it's funny how time moves differently for people, and how it can move so much faster for some people and so much slower for others, depending on your perspective.
As they're making out, it's so...
And then she says maybe the most Makase thing in the entire series of Relative Theory is romantic, and it's so romantic and sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
Which, totally right, but we go to, I think, the airport, and Makase...
No, trains.
Trains.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, transportation.
And Makase is leaving. Okabe's seeing her off. They didn't want everyone else there. It would have been too much. Or Makase didn't. Okabe gives her the shitty drone.
And she does want it.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
But thanks, I guess.
But updated it. It's now 2.67. Like.
Yep.
Which I love that he doesn't even say what that means. So, like, it doesn't spin anymore. It's just like, yeah, so it's updated. She starts to walk away, turns around, throws a Dr. Pepper way behind him.
I love this.
He's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
She's like, just go pick it up, stupid. He goes to pick up his Dr. Pepper. We get a close shot on her mouthing sayonara.
Is that what it is? Because I can't read Japanese.
Yeah, they I mean, I don't think lip reading is typically very good in anime, but they very much enunciated it out slowly to be like sayonara, like real slow. Because I went back and watched, watched it again, because that's what I figured, but I wanted to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't just say the word. They had to mouth it out. It's fine, though.
And, of course, she's gone when he gets up. And he has a little bit of, like, I guess we remember a little bit earlier conversation where she tells him that he's going to suffer no matter what, a world where no one remembers her but him. And she says, but sometimes, just remember me sometimes, lists all the times that, it'd be nice for him to think of her. It's like, she's like, it doesn't have to be all the time, just once in a while, just remember me.
I think it was once every 100.
Yeah. Because, hey, I'm there, just beyond the barrier, the 1% divergence or whatever. We get over to
I just
Daru.
got nothing for this. Just like, man.
Yeah, it's all just a big old bummer. Daru found the last D-mail to delete from CERN's database. We commence Operation Verdandi, which is another of the Nordic fates. alongside Erd, who we had earlier. Okabe gives a victory speech, yells the world will be rebuilt, hits the enter key. Makase bursts in.
And that's it for this week.
She yells, I'm also in. And then
Of course she is.
Time snaps everything away.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I'm glad you're crying. I really didn't fucking care. I was like, why did she come back? Like,
What do you mean you didn't care?
She's about to be erased.
You're heartless.
no, she's not going to be erased from Okabe's mind.
But
She's dead and she
he's
loves
going to be
him.
erased from her mind.
Not really.
Yes.
No, because
As far
they
as
have
they
memories.
understand it.
They have fragments of the memories. It's not full. It's
Yeah,
not,
but it's
like-
still, as far as they understand it, they might as well see it as
And
that.
even if she does remember, she only gets to remember until she dies.
Yeah.
So we get back to normal times. Okabe asks Mayuri about lab number 004, of which there is none. His stitching on his coat is gone.
Oh, also, the divergence number did stop, by the way, at 1.13.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he did go over the divergence.
He gives his victory speech, part 2. And Mayuri's like, you don't have to talk like that anymore. I'm okay now. You can cry for yourself.
Yeah, what? Hold on.
She
What
knows.
is this?
She knows, dude.
Because he's been having death dreams. He no longer feels like he's going to die.
So that's what that was supposed to be?
I think
Yes,
that was
he
an
knows.
indication that Mayuri kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Because that was fucking weird to me, man. To be fair, though, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I was just like, can we talk about what the fuck this was? Because I didn't understand it. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just she pieced it together. Like we had the scene with her grandmother's grave of her having all those death dreams. We know that people seem to, for whatever reason, retain fragments whenever Okabe leaps. Theoretically, through some connection with Okabe, we don't know if it's happening for everyone in the world.
Yeah, I guess that one was just so forward compared to the other ones. They were like, I have these dreams. I'm not sure. And she was just like, yo, we're good now, fam. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but I think her talking out those dreams was like her putting it together in a way.
The way I look at it is Mary does no longer have the death in her belly. She's like, oh, I feel good. Like, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, or for whatever reason, like she knows that whatever
She's okay.
Okabe was trying to do, it worked.
Yep.
And she knows that everything Okabe was trying to do was to protect her. And she knows that she's safe now, so he can worry about himself. But they get rid of the IBN.
Get rid of all the lab equipment.
Yeah, they get rid of all that shit.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Okabe says, living means no do-overs.
That's a nice line.
And we go to our... If we were playing the visual novel, this would be our normal end. We get a different ending credits, different ending song. Some typing comes in. Get a phone buzz. Daru answers it. He's confused, like, Dad, what? Which for a second I thought, wait, is Daru's dad calling him? Hold on.
I did too. That was my initial was like, Dad? Like, he's confused. Like, why is his dad calling?
But then, a mysterious girl wants to talk to Okabe. Amane, we figure out it's Amane who calls him to the top of the conference building because he has to stop World War III. And now we're on our true ending route. We loaded our game after seeing credits, after the normal ending.
Here's the thing, though. You use it as a guy who skips ending because I'm gonna watch the next episode. I had to watch this because somebody did a little bit of research. I'm just gonna say thank you, Owens, for doing this, for taking the bullet for watching the ending.
I fucking love the ending of the show. I always let it run. I also use it as time to like prep my next episode.
Yeah, I watched this one. I let this one run.
Anything else in 22?
No.
Did you guys touch that Suzuhu? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, let's jump into episode 23. Open the Steins Gate. We are on August 21st. We learn about the World War III cause is a time machine, or World War III will cause 5.7 billion deaths.
You know, let's get real worried
About what?
to drop a bomb like this in the last 2 episodes.
Explain.
So we finally like get to like the okay, Moxie's gonna die, Mayuri's gonna live. Mayuri's like, okay, yeah, I know everything's fine, and then they're like, by the way, World War III, we got fucking 46 minutes to nip that one in the bud.
Oh no, dude! Like honestly, I felt like such an idiot when episode 22 happened and those credits happened. Like we've been talking about our theories and how we think it would end with like one of the trio dead. For the past like 3 weeks, right?
Kinda, yeah.
And like, dude, I've played enough JRPGs and shit I should have known. I know visual novels have true endings. I know true endings always work out okay. I should have fucking known.
Yeah.
Amane's new look fucking rules, dude.
Oh, it looks good. Although I do like poor old look, but this look is good.
The resistance gear, the like hair loops, approve very much. And then Okabe's like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, come on, dude. He's done with this. He's so
I did my thing, and
this.
I can't let it be for nothing. No fucking way, dude. World War III is going to kill 5.7 million people. Great. Don't care. I'm out. And I mean, that's just more indicative of it. The fact that, like, most of the world's population is going to die, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But he then, or Amane tells him that, well, hold on.
Chris.
The way to prevent World War III, we need to save Makase. I don't know why this is going to work, but that is my mission.
Yep.
We need to go to the one unaffected line through the Steins gate. And we get a different opening, actually. It's not drastically different, but it has different lyrics. I couldn't tell you what they mean because I don't speak Japanese, but
Wait, you don't?
I have listened to the Steins gate opening every episode and multiple times on my Spotify. Amane is still explaining that was a hypothesis created by Okabe and Daru. And Mayuri and Daru are trying to like push Okabe into getting in the time machine with Amane to go save Makase and prevent World War III. Yeah, Okabe agrees. He has to leave his phone behind, though. We learn that this time machine can go forwards and backwards, but it can't change locations, which also seems kind of like an oversight. But so we jump back to the convention center on July 28th, the day Makase died. Amane tells him to be careful not to encounter his other self. It's 20 minutes before Makase is supposed to die. And also the entire time she's calling him Oji-san. And he's like, stop calling me uncle. God damn it. I'm not your uncle.
But have you guys talked about the fact that those white lights is the fact that's time, like fragments or time
Little time
beats?
particles?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, what is these white orbs or stuff? And he's like, oh, that's time. Like that's little beats of time dancing around her. Yeah.
So does anyone else find it a little weird that she was like, don't talk to your guy because there's a time paradox, but earlier in the series they were like, yeah, you could probably talk to him.
I thought they said you couldn't earlier. They said you could meet yourself. I don't think it was like in the way that like, you could. I think it was more like you could. Well, I don't think it was at that time they had a judgment of should though. But at this point they are kind of like, don't do that. Also, I mean, as we learn later, like he didn't meet himself, right? It would change things if he met himself.
Yeah.
But also meeting yourself always creates a time paradox and like blows you up or whatever. Okabe is stealthing through the convention center. He finds Makase.
It's a good verb.
Huh?
Stealthing through.
He tries to touch her.
Oh my gosh, this is
the fuck
so
out,
awkward.
understandably. And he's just like at a loss for what to say. The press conference alarm goes off and Okabe runs off. I wrote event convergence for some reason, like I was supposed to fucking know what that meant.
The what?
Event convergence.
Oh,
so the event convergence is the thing that happens every single time.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Fun little callback here from the first episode. I went and looked at my notes to see if I could like find anything that I called out that circled back. The first time Makase and Okabe run into each other, she's like, oh, hey, didn't you try to tell me something 15 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah.
And Okabe's like, what?
I remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We get to where she gets stabbed. She comes in. Okabe is hiding behind the boxes. We see, again, the folder she's carrying. It says Time Machine, A Study of Creation. Nakabachi, who is the guy that Okabe argued with in episode 1, made him look like a complete goddamn fool because he is. Fuck this guy. We learned that's Makuse's dad.
We should defend him a little bit.
No.
I'm just kidding, chat.
She wants him to read the paper, her paper, and he basically is going to steal it. And Makuse's like, wait, are you going to steal my paper? I didn't think you would do that. He gets pissed off. He punches her and pins her to the ground. So yeah, he pins Makuse, and then Okabe interferes. Dude pulls a knife.
Why does this guy have a knife? No, why does this guy have a knife? He's a science guy.
I don't know. Sometimes you have knives.
I would understand if this was box cutter, because box cutter is like the thing. But I'm pretty sure knives are like illegal in Japan, like pocket knives.
Well, I mean, so if you look at the laws here too, like in Kentucky, I think like you can't even have a pocket knife over like 6 inches. But like that is not at all enforced.
Also, this show I think makes it pretty clear that this guy is not exactly like a cool man. Like he's not on the up and up.
Yeah, it's the same. They have the same rules as we do. You cannot carry a knife with a locking blade or folding blade longer than like 5.5 centimeters. So you're allowed to have one.
In Japan, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Based on a quick Google search.
Okabe employs all his combat training to disarm him.
Oh, that was good, Owens. I mean, they both are scientists, so.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just saying, this dad, piece of shit. I fucking hate this guy.
He's the fucking worst person I think that's fucking, oh my god, there's something fucked up with him.
Agreed. He sees the screwdriver. He goes for the kill with the screwdriver, and Makuse holds him off. Okabe charges with the knife.
Yeah, because this was the smartest idea ever.
Yeah,
Okabe.
like a fucking goddamn enemy from Streets of Rage just holds it out and runs straight. And obviously, because we haven't said it yet, he stabs Makuse. They come back through the time machine. Okabe is in shock. We talk about the attractor field convergence stuff, which we kind of already get at this point, right? We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I think they just put a term to it.
Yeah.
Well, we did forget the fact that he did yell, which was like we was wondering where the yell was from. It was because he stabbed Chris. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of forgot. I remember there was something that made him come over there, but I couldn't remember what it was. And it's the yell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He gets a message to turn on the TV. Nakabichi has defected to Russia. There was a fire in the cargo bay, but oh shit, guys, the payoff for the metal UPA. It set off the metal detector. So the folder with the plans for the time machine didn't get burned up in the fire in the cargo bay.
Listen, I'm not talking just because I'm nodding like, fuck you guys for this one.
Yeah. So World War III is going to start. And Okabe is like, no, Okabe is, again, he starts spiraling. He's like, fuck this. Like, she's unsavable. I've done this before. I'm not fucking doing this again. And this is where Mayuri steps up. Did you want to talk about this, Anthony?
I just think she has great form.
Because he's best call?
No, I had nothing to do with her being a girl or anything. She just has great form in her slap. This was like full circle, just perfect Mayuri moment. And I hesitate to say that because Sal's on the podcast. But but man, this was so strong for me. Her whole speech about like, I mean, you guys watched it. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's so fucking good, dude.
You don't get to, like, she basically like, wait, you don't quit. You don't give up. You're fucking Okabe, dude. What are you doing? I was able to get over my grandmother because of you. Like, she basically tells him, the only reason I was able to move on is because of you. And now you're sitting here going to fucking give up on someone you care very much about, clearly. Hell
God,
no.
She put him in his place in such a good way, man.
Yeah. And then Amane's like, oh, by the way, now that you guys are done having your drama, the plan was for you to fail once.
I kind of hated that, but I understand. Like, without hearing the rest of the plan or whatever, I was like, what?
Yeah, but then it makes sense.
Fuck y'all.
And then we get the future transmission for future Okabe, 15 years in the future. He has his whole plan to destroy the paper and save Makuse. And he tells him saving her is possible, just not the way you've been trying to do it. Don't undo you don't want to undo the 3 weeks you had. You don't want to change the past. The past is what fueled your obsession to save Makase, which is why you're going to be able to.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of had no clue what they were eventually what needed to happen up until right here.
Yeah, I mean they leave it pretty vague for as long as they can.
Yeah,
yeah. He basically says you have to make the you of 3 weeks ago think that she's dead. They say the time machine is C204, and you know what C stands for.
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, I don't know who the fuck this is.
I'm pretty sure he says it.
Yeah, he does almost immediately after. He's like, yeah, or I think he's like it's C204. And does future Okabe even say you know what it's for?
Yeah, he's like, and you know why I called it that.
And then like under his breath, he's like, Christina.
Yeah, and he's like, now we'll commence Operation Skald, which is the third Nordic fate. Mm-hmm. And we'll pass through the barrier of the Steins Gate or whatever, and you know why I called it the Steins Gate. And why did he call it the Steins Gate?
Because it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
It's so good.
So dumb. I think that's such a good, like, brings the whole series kind of around to you remembering how he was in the first 4 or 5 episos.
Yep.
And
he signs off with Elsai Kangaroo.
Yep. Yeah,
and Mayuri's like, wow, his voice was so deep.
Did she actually say that?
Yeah, she's like, she
awesome.
actually says like, wow, your voice in the feature is so deep.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's good the fact that he said the code word at the very end. It's like, oh yeah, this is really...
Yeah, yep. And Okabe then laughs at his future self like, man, I'm still talking like that when I'm 33. What a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And then he goes full Halloween, back on his shit, laughing and talking, or doing his mad scientist laugh, talking real bombastic and nonsensical. And we end that episode on a new ending.
Yeah, second one in a row, right?
You are correct. So episode 24, the prologue begins with the end or achievement point. We get a re-explanation of the parameters of the mission. We learn that the time machine is very low on fuel. They can make one more trip, and Amane is going to be stuck if they fail.
I wish they would have said round trip.
Yeah, same. I was a little confused too, and I'm like, that's probably what they meant. Okabe is looking for something back at the lab, and they're like, bro, we got to go. But he pulls out the Sialoom saber. He plans to use the liquid for blood and goes full Halloween again. But yeah, we get a really sweet scene of Mayuri kind of remembering Makase. Because she's like, oh, hey, dude, this person you're trying to save, she used to sit here, right? And you guys, we just like talk about science stuff all the time. And you were always fighting, but you seemed like you were having a good time. Daru does some bullshit.
If you don't acknowledge
Daru
him,
does
he'll eventually
like,
stop.
who's my wife stuff again. And Amaya's like, whatever, dude, later. First order of business for Okabe back on July 28th. He's got to get that metal Upa. Cannot have the metal Upa out there. So he goes and gets it. I think this next part is really well done because he recreates what he bumped into her. Like, clearly he's more there and calculated this time, but he does the exact same stuff of like he bumps into her and then is like stuttering for words and being weird.
Yep, just being weird again. Gotta love Okabe.
But this time I think he did it on purpose. And he says, I'm going to save you.
Yep, not weird at all.
And Makase's probably like, okay, dude. We learned that the Makase picked up the Upa, and that's what happened to it back in episode 1. But Mayuri didn't get a metal one this time, so it's fine. Which also, that's kind of a nice scene, because they buy it again, and she still acts excited about it, and he's like, oh, is this one a rare one? She's like, nah, but it's cute.
I kind of want an Upa, just one on my desk, like on my desk.
I can almost guarantee you can get them.
Is that like a thing, or is it a thing they made up?
I don't know.
Okay.
But if there's Steins Gate merch and Upas aren't like a real thing, then I bet you can get Upas. Back in the murder room, we learned that the liquid has dried up in the Sialoom saber because he hasn't used it in a while. The attack plays out. Dude, and this is why I'm so fucking happy with this. Like, again, we'll come back to Halloween, but I actually put in my notes here, Halloween interrupts the attack, not Okabe.
Oh, yep.
For the attack, absolutely, he does, man.
Yeah, I love it.
He's so fucking back into this character. Let's go, baby. I'm ready.
Yeah. Also, what's it called? He does look at his hand because that's actually the sign that, like, oh, I'm gonna cut myself to get the blood.
Yeah, I got that feeling too when he looked at his hand. Yeah.
Because random question, why when people need to make blood or not? You know what I mean? Like they have to get blood. They cut their hand. Why is that? Why can't they cut their arm?
I think it's just it's a dramatic and cool gesture. And as far as like for like storytelling purposes, I think it's an easier thing to show, and it just makes it simpler. Because actually, I think cutting your hand is like one of the worst places because it's very easy to hit a vein and bleed way too much.
Well, also, you need to do stuff with your hand later on.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, you got no disagreement here, bud.
Okabe is goading Nakabichi, basically calling him a stupid piece of shit because he is.
Good for you.
And to which point, Nakabichi goes and stabs Okabe, all according to plan.
Bad plan.
Also, this dude, I love the animation on this next sequence with Okabe like slowly approaching him, just looking fucking wild.
Yeah, I was a big fan of this.
Eventually scaring Nakabachi. I've been saying Nakabichi, I believe, but Nakabachi off.
He does pick up the paper though.
He does, but that's fine because we don't have the Metalupa.
Yep.
Makase's like, oh shit, you're bleeding real bad. Let me help. And then he tases her. She goes unconscious and he fucking jams his hand in his wound to force his blood out. Which, not cool, man. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Amane comes in to help him leave because he's not doing good. And Okabe, my man. Okabe tells Amane to stop once they get far enough away and like behind some boxes because he wants to make sure it worked.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good. He's satisfied that it has. They return to the time machine. They start going back and all your pretty little time lights start showing up as they feel like, hey, we're jumping to the Steins Gate world line. Amane starts to fade out, says, see you in 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, so something definitely worked.
Yeah.
Well, she knows she's born in 7 years. No matter what happens, she's born in 7 years.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah. Also, she's disappearing, which makes no sense.
Well, because she doesn't exist in this timeline yet. The time machine is never made.
But the time machine would not be invented either. So how is Okabe coming back in time?
It wouldn't. They're jumping to a time when the time machine hasn't been made. The way time travel seems to work in this and why the 1% divergence is such a big deal is that like the universe itself is almost trying to correct for paradoxes whenever something changes. And that's why something like this might work. Because it sees like, oh, these things shouldn't be here, so it removes them.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
It's very strange and weird, but time always is. We go to the hospital. Mayuri is bringing flowers for Okabe.
But he's not there.
Oh no!
Where did he go? I love the scenes.
Take it away.
So yeah, so she's not there, and Mayuri is going to like find him. And the first place she goes is to the shrine. I'm assuming that's probably the closest place. And she's like, "Have you seen Okabe?" And he's like, "Yeah, he was just here." He said, "I don't know if he said he was going, but whatever." But he gave me this pin, and that was just so fucking awesome. It's got all the members and even Well, I guess it's kind of changed right from the initial pin. Do you remember, guys, what was all on there?
I don't remember the order of the pins, but it's all the same people.
Yeah, and then the exact same number. Basically, anyone who's involved, and then he's number what, 5, 4, 5? I don't know, but
Ruka is 5, I think.
Yeah. And then she stops by what's the cafe called?
Oh, May Queen.
Yeah, he stops by the May Queen, runs into Ferris, and have you seen Okabe? Kind of the same stuff. He's no, but he gave me actually, come to think about it, yeah, he gave me a pin. And then we work our way.
Did you write down her line, Owens? What she says about that?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Okay. She says some, like, outrageous line, like, because Okabe and her are in together in that joke.
I was just so happy walking through all this. Then we go to below the lab, and we run into Braun, who is alive and well. And we see Moeka, and she's got a job, and it's not being an assassin at the moment.
Nice touch. She's still working for Braun.
Yeah. And she also has a pin. Number, I think she's 8 or 9.
Yeah, and we actually, she flashes back to Okabe giving it to her.
Yep.
Because Okabe gives her the pin, and she says thank you.
Yeah. So then we go up to the lab, and they're like, she's like, is Okabe here? And he's like, no, but he dropped off these pins.
No.
Wait.
No.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, you missed something. She comes back to the lab, and I think she says, like, I'm back, but also combines it with Ocarine.
Yep.
So I don't know how to say it in Japanese, but she combines saying I'm back with his name. And Dara's like, did you just combine I'm back with Ocarine? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, nice.
Yep.
So going back to the shit that matters.
That was a good exchange.
I know it was, but I was so happy that everybody got their pins. And then, he's got his pin, and he said that he stored another pin for someone who will be here in 7 years.
Yep. So it's inside the box.
Yep. And I love that so much. That whole thing.
And Mayuri again.
Mayuri's just
like 7
following.
years. That's nice to think about.
Did she say that?
Or like that she was kind of like, yeah, 7 years. Or this will be interesting, or that'll be fun. Something like that.
I just love
Like she's not curious at all. Like, I wonder what that's about. She's like, cool.
She probably kind of knows deep down.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, after that, Okabe's still not at the lab, but we do finally cut to him. He is thinking about Makase, walking through a crowd of people, and they pass each other.
Well, I think it's a little like he was specifically like, I wonder where you are. You're like thinking about what you're thinking about. You're probably doing that. Like he's doing that. Like,
yeah, you're probably doing some weird fucking experiment.
And he's like happy about it and everything. And then they run into each other. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. Well, they like pass each other and they pull out and time has stopped basically. And they have a small exchange and Okabe calls her Christina. And she's like, my name's not Christina. I'm not your assistant. And it's like, wait, hold on. Why the hell did I just say that?
My heart.
And that is the end of Steins Gate. Quick bit of housekeeping. I did not watch, obviously, the alternate 23, and I did not watch the non-canon episode 25 because they aren't on Crunchyroll. But what I did learn is that the alternate episode 23 leads into Steins Gate 0, which Steins Gate 0 is the story of future Okabe and him not being able to save Makase and then going on that big quest to then. So if you want to watch true Steins Gate watch order, you watch episodes 1 through 22, then watch Steins Gate 0, and then watch episodes 23 and 24.
Really? I thought Steins Gate 0 was when he couldn't save Mayuri.
No, it's when he couldn't save Makase. And that's why he goes through and creates this whole big plan. And we see the story of future Okabe, basically.
Okay.
From my understanding. Yeah, any more thoughts on episode 24 in specific?
No.
I need verbal confirmation.
That's why I said no.
No, I'm good with episode 24.
So, okay. I guess first question, because this is... I'm very, very glad I watched it a day in advance, actually. How do we feel about the ending? I
thought this was a really good way to end it. I like this a lot. I mean, the anime is not for me. I have been harping about that all the weeks we've been doing it. Still not for me, but this was a good anime. And the ending, I thought, went seamlessly. I was expecting Kyoto to die, but it makes sense why a character wouldn't die. Because, like Owen says, this is a visual novel. And usually a visual novel has really good endings.
Yeah, where did I start?
Just start. Just talk, man.
Yeah, I was just very happy with how it ended. I think it was assumed that we could not have anyone dying. So I was so focused on, almost like you mentioned earlier, like an hour ago or whatever. I was so focused on the fact that, this might not be a thing. I didn't even think about if there was a way to, save Makase. And Mayuri, and have everyone living. So I guess in that way, I didn't really see this coming, and so I think it made the feel good even better for me. Just hey, they did it.
Okay. I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to posit it anyway because I'm sure there's a debate about this on the internet. Would either of you have preferred episode 22 as an ending?
Is it without the anonymity stuff?
Yeah, it's before the Amane stuff comes in. It's, Makase leaves and he says that life is having no do-overs or whatever.
No, I do like the perfect ending because, I like this because Okabe has a good ending.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like it when the main characters has good endings. The fact is I would say yes if I did not watch the last episode, if you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't like Okabe as a character, although he is sometimes funny. He does deserve a happy ending, and to me, the ending was really well done. That it was like, okay, everything makes sense if you don't think about it too hard, but everything makes sense.
Anthony, any thoughts on that?
I think I would have been fine with 22 the way it ended because that would be assuming Makase dies.
I asked preferred.
See, that's a hard question because at 22 I would have liked that, or I would have been fine with that, and then I think we would have been talking a lot longer at this episode because I think the main question what we would have was how would they have made a way where everyone is happy? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think we would have talked about that for a while, and then to see that how they envision that would be, I think I prefer the method, because they did it correctly. I think, in my opinion, this was a happy ending. I don't think it was completely far-fetched. I think that they tied off very nice loose ends. I think it has a great finish. Like I said, I think that the final scenes where she's going around trying to find Okabe is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So of those two, I think I still prefer the final or the episode 24 ending. But I think 22, I would have been fine with it. I still probably would have been okay. They got what they finally needed. I think they would have changed some stuff too if that was actually the ending.
Yeah, you're probably.
But honestly, I don't think they would have messed it up that way either. But I prefer 24.
Just a quick note. I think it is worth mentioning that because we didn't actually talk about it during the episode. That Makase does say that she spent the last 3 weeks looking for Okabe because he saved her life.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
When they meet, but yeah. The reason I asked that question is because I actually kind of felt that way for a little bit, where I watched 22 and then I was like, shit, there's 2 episodes left, and had the realization that, oh, okay, I know where we're going with this now. And it played out, and I came away from 24 initially feeling a little again, I've played JRPGs. I've seen so many fucking true endings, and this is how it always goes. Everything's great. Everyone's happy. And I've totally flipped, by the way. I 1,000% prefer the new end or the episode 24 ending, but it made me realize a weird way of how I evaluate things like this, where Steins Gate, the tone of it, the vibe of it spent so much time promising that it was going to hurt me that when it didn't, I wasn't prepared to be happy. So I didn't get the emotional impact of it. And thinking back on it, it's so much better because I'm just going to circle back to Persona 3 real quick, because Persona 3 is the only game or the only thing I can think of off the top of my head where I fully want, no matter what, these characters, I want all of them to be happy and everything to be good and great. And then it gut punches you at the end. And I think it's fucking incredible. And I can't think of anything else that does that, despite how much I generally enjoy sad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of on a tangent to why I came around, I think we need to talk about the character of Okabe a little bit and the transformation he goes through in this series. God damn it. Okay, this show is this is Okabe's story. The other characters have their stuff, but this is Okabe's story.
Yeah, he's a protagonist.
And by and large, then, we get Okabe's perspective on a lot of stuff. But I feel like Halloween is almost from the perspective of Makase. Because at the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we're all talking this guy is weird and unhinged, and he's obviously just being a LARPing weirdo, but he's... This Halloween stuff is fucking stupid, and guy needs to tone it down and get serious.
So I know I had generally that perspective, but I thought it was less LARPing and more this guy's fucking crazy initially. And then again,
sure.
I'm not going to completely go into it because I touched this when he actually started going when Mayuri first died, he like fucking like he toned it in. And like he was very like, oh fuck. And like that's when I realized, okay, he was really just like LARPing and yeah.
And as it goes on, and again, I guess we didn't talk about this as much, but Halloween, yes, it does act as like kind of a defense mechanism for Okabe, but for the other characters, it starts to act as a defense mechanism for the other characters too. Like when the Halloween comes out, it's like almost comforting and reassuring and like, okay, he's doing this shit. Everything's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're going to be good.
When he comes back out again at the end.
Or not. Well, when it comes back out at the end, you're like, fucking yes.
Yeah,
let's
I was
go.
very much like, okay, let's bring it. Yes. I was fucking hyped. Especially that last episode.
But I mean, like the middle of the series where we understand, and Makase clearly understands that this is all a stupid game to Okabe. That like when he brings out the Halloween shtick, it's a little like, I don't know, it's comforting. It feels safe. It feels nice.
You think for us or for her?
For both.
Okay.
And I mean, by extension, for Mayuri, that's like the whole reason he does it. But
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're onto something there, especially because he very much like that was her. That was how she, at least twice that I can think of, like brought him back into the situation at large. Was doing like her ha 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 and like her little coat flips and stuff, and that like that kind of leveled him out, or at least like brought him back on. Yeah, and she used that. And I think she also thinks that that's comfortable for him in a way, which I mean, obviously it is because he does it. But yeah, and Mary honestly brings it up quite a bit because of her, like, because multiple times she's like, you're not talking like you used to, you know, and I used to be your hostage and like all that kind of stuff. And I think that was definitely a tell when he was sad or when he was like not having his shit together, which honestly, most of this he didn't, but
yeah.
But yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from.
And that brings me kind of to the other point on, I think, Okabe, where you say he didn't have his shit together most of the time. He totally didn't. Like, honestly, Okabe, kind of fucking useless. If you really think about it. Like, I think a large part of the series is about, I mean, yes, it's about like perseverance and creating your own fate and like all that shit. But at least with regards to Okabe, it's about being able to rely on and be vulnerable to other people, because he never succeeds at anything until other people get in there and push him to do it.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. Like he needs Daru for all like the hacking and technical shit.
Yeah.
And then they don't even succeed at that until they bring Makase in.
Yep. And then Makase is the one who brings out all the plans for Okabe to try in the time stuff.
Yeah, he can't save Mayuri until he enlists Makase's help. And then they figure it out. And then he feels like he can't save Makase until Mayuri steps in and makes him, basically.
I'm trying to think.
I'm sure you can rope other characters in there too, but like as a quick overview of how Okabe is, despite trying to play off this like mad scientist, self-reliant guy, he's actually so incredibly dependent on people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's pretty obvious from the beginning is that like this whole shtick, I mean, he's probably a slightly intelligent guy, but he doesn't know shit about time travel.
I mean, they somehow successfully made working D-mail, but... And I mean, further than that, I think, you know, we take the physical things that happen, but it's to me, it's very clearly a I don't know that allegory is the right word, probably not metaphor, but it's basically to show that a dependence, welcome to anime tropes, a dependence on other people is a strength, not a weakness.
Sure.
I mean, actually, to extrapolate it to get away from all the science stuff, like Okabe tries to shoulder all the burdens himself.
Yep.
And suffer alone. And everyone is, or Makase and Mayuri are constantly in there telling him, like, bro, we got you.
And the only time he ever progresses in the story is when he lets them in.
Man, it's going to have to be time for me. Okabe is I think, is a really high ranking anime character for me, for sure.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I fucking love Okabe. Yeah, any other thoughts on Steins Gate. Anything you want to talk about?
I like that we extrapolated out both Okabe and the Hoenn character separately.
Yes.
I think that's a very interesting. Like, I think that's something that needed to be done, and that was a good call.
I think it was a good episode. I mean, not good, good show.
I would have to agree. Well, I finally got one in the bag, boys.
Yeah, after that fucking travesty we had.
No, we don't have to talk about it. We got one in the bag. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't remember Anthony picking.
Yeah, this is actually my first. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, and if we've got no more big picture thoughts on Steins Gate, couple of questions. We know the answer for me and Monkey. Anthony, favorite character?
Okabe, 100%.
Yes, and I think Mayoi and is best girl and the best character.
Yes. Who could have guessed?
And I'm guessing yours is Chris and Chris.
No, Okabe, 100% best character.
Oh, okay. Best girl, Anthony.
I guess if I have to answer, Chris.
I do think Makase is a really good character as well.
Yeah, Makase.
I mean, dude, I like their dynamic way more than I should. I think. It's that dynamic is really easy to make annoying, and they did it so well. I know Monkey's answer, I think. Any interest in Steins Gate Zero?
Nope.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't think I'm gonna I have to go watch it, but I do think on some rainy fucking Sunday I got nothing to do and I'm at an anime, I might let's pop into Zero.
You never out of anime.
You'd be surprised how quick you run out of anime.
Good anime.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page where I'll probably end up watching it a year and a half from now. Also, if they go on sale, there's a chance I play the visual novels.
Yeah, I got it on my wish list on Steam just to remind myself to keep an eye on it.
Just the canon, probably not Hug Girls, Time Travel, whatever one that was. My Darling's Embrace.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Would you guys rewatch the series? Because supposedly it's really good nuggets.
Same thing for Steins Gate Zero. If I had the time, if I was just sitting there, I'd probably watch Steins Gate before I rewatch Steins Gate Zero.
I'd probably do the other way around. But I mean, I'm inclined to say no. But also, I've been rewatching series like crazy the past couple of years, so who knows?
Okay. What theories did you guys like that was completely wrong? Mine is Owens' thinking that
Moika's Nai.
Yeah, well, 99 chick was gonna be a big thing, and she turns out not to be. Yeah.
Listen, Ferris Yadad is still a big thing. God damn it! She may not have had the biggest role of the.
None of my theories were wrong, so I'm out of this conversation, I guess.
My favorite theory was actually Moika being Nai of mine.
Oh, really?
That was
extremely
wrong.
And then Anthony's stories was bad.
How about Moika being Amane? That was a pretty good one.
Who made that theory?
It might not have been any of us. It was probably some random fucking idiot who's never had a thought in his life.
So I don't know. So I got on to the reason I made that so far-fetched theory is because I saw one that was even I typed in Moeka for to remember what she looked like in one of the episodes, and I remembered what happens when you Google.
Mm-hmm.
So as I hit images, I thought I saw somewhere where it said Moeka is someone's sister or something like that.
I mean, it could happen in Zero.
It might, but so I was so something's fucking weird with Moeka, and then I made that theory based on just a quick jump off of Google All into images or whatever.
Gotcha.
And that's when I was like, no, something's fucked up with Moeka, because
I remember how we all thought Moeka was from the future. We were also dismissed it she's from the future. Yeah, let's move on.
Probably the best one.
Dude, there was that theory that I thought Mayuri and Okabe was the same person except different timelines.
Oh God, dude, you did say that.
Yeah. Also, I did have that theory. Mayuri was
she was a smart
Okabe.
One. Yeah.
Yes, she was a smart one, which I would have loved.
Yeah, we made a shit ton on this one.
I think we had a 0% hit rate.
Yeah, no one got the fact that Aname was Daru's daughter.
No, why
no
the
one
hell
got
would
that
you?
one.
Well, I mean, we did conclude that yes, there was going to be some relation to somebody from someone at some point.
No,
that's all
someone
we got.
Did, I think someone did make that one.
I mean, the only one, the way you could have catched that is just because of Anami and Daru have the same hair color. So you could just guess from that.
So, okay. I know Monkey likes to ask our rankings.
Okay, I was going to ask ranking once we get done with actually the Steins Gate.
I'm throwing out my numbers.
Okay.
I'm doing a tier system. I'm making a tier system, and the tier system is relative, so things can move tiers as the tiers fill. So, my tier system, again, relative. S tier. Cowboy Bebop. Perfect Blue. Steins Gate. A tier. Yuri on Ice. B tier. Devil's a Part-Timer.
Have we done anything else?
Yep.
Yep.
D tier. Evangelion. That is my current tier list. Now, when Monkey asks rankings, I will tell you what tier it is in, and if anything has moved relative, I will also state that, because I'm not going to say every fucking ranking every time.
Okay. My ranking. Cowboy Bebop, number 1. Number 2 is probably Devil's a Part-Timer. Yeah, that's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is probably gonna be Yuri on Ice. Yeah, Yuri on Ice. Number 4, Steins Gate. Number 5, Perfect Blue. Number 8, Evangelion.
Yeah. So Perfect Blue is number 1. Still holding that top spot. Cowboy Bebop. I had trouble with these two. Steins Gate and Yuri on Ice were both. I liked them a lot, but I put Gate up there first. I think there's just a little bit more. And then,
okay.
That's actually very surprising that you struggled with that for me.
And then I really liked Yuri on Ice, guys. Yuri on Ice, Devil's a Part-Timer, and Evangelion.
I thought it was going to be more obvious. Give me your tiers.
I got S tier of the top. Oh, this sucks. The top 2, Perfect Blue and Cowboy Bebop. A tier, I got Steins Gate, Yuri on Ice, and I'd like Devil's a Part-Timer. I don't know if it's an A tier for me, though. So I'll put that as B tier, and then Evangelion could just fuck up Z tier. Whatever.
It had some redeemable qualities. That's why I didn't give it F tier.
No, it did. I tried to...
That's why... Sorry, there's no F tier. That's why I didn't give it Dan tier.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, for our next arc, we will be joined by a good friend of ours to discuss Fooly Cooly. We'll be beginning with the first 3 episodes, and it is apparently available on Crunchyroll, Funimation, and I guess AdultSwim.com. So if you're feeling Fooly and or Cooly, then we'll see you next time on My First Anime. Thanks again for listening to My First Anime. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends and leave a review. It really helps. I'm Chris Bailey, and you can find me on Twitter at Chris R. Bailey or hear me play Pretend on the actualplay.network podcast. And finally, thanks to Slink for the use of 12-speed as our intro and Winnie the Moog for the use of Speed Energy as our outro.
You can come to my stream, ST Monkey at Twitch, where the O is a 0 in monkey, so make sure you guys remember that. I play single-player games and multiplayer games, well, sometimes multiplayer games, Tuesdays and Fridays afternoons. You can also follow my Twitter at STMonkey, also O is a 0, and my Instagram. My Instagram is mostly containing dog photos of my dog. He's a poodle. And Shih Tzu.
You can reach out and contact us on Twitter at MyFirstAnime or email at myfirstanimepodcast@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined, my personal Twitter and Instagram are both Sir Paperplate, where you will find only pictures of my cat. And once again, thanks for listening to
My First Anime.